wrong at certain situations. They don't get rattled by that at this stage. It's a very veteran roster at this point. Nouns are going to need stability and consistency if they are going to topple the Party Astronauts. And here we go into Mirage, the first of our two best of ones tonight. We'll see who starts on the CT side. That'll be a good litmus test as well. And it's Party Astronauts who get that CT side start, so that's a good start for them. They can get this pistol round, deny the bomb plant, and scale forward off of that. Be very good for the Party Nuts. Wolfie tries to do some damage, but it's going to be a cat run, a smoke down to allow them to cross in. Infinite spam makes him reload, and so no casualties yet, and he'll actually fall down early into this engagement. Wolfie peeks out, and Rush will meet him swiftly, make it a second for Rush as well. Onto 60, no return kills whatsoever from Party Astronauts. Nouns are swarming the site. Rush has 3, looks for forward CJ instead, and Nouns don't even attempt a bomb plant until the very end. They just wipe the floor with a B-side defense.
Two players we mentioned to come alive and support Junior steal the limelight in the pistol. It's CJ and Rush with 2 and 3 respectively to start things off right for Nouns. There's an interesting caveat I have, Boggs, written down in my notes. On the map of Mirage, both teams seem to be relatively T-sided. Now, as we talked about as well in the green room, maybe there is a mistake in my notes. That happens from time to time, but I just checked for Party Astronauts and it still rings true. They have like a 60% win rate on 64.4% win rate on the T side of Mirage. And so while they want 5 or 6 on the CT side, maybe the T side is where they're going to look to for the bulk of their heavy lifting. Wolfie, scout on catwalk, and a force buy for his team. He does damage onto 1, but Carson's the one to open up the round. Fang, dispatched our player to watch. It's always going to be cursed. Carson doubles down now with a kill onto the op of Wolfie. He has a scout in his hand for this round, but nothing going for his team elsewhere on the map. 60 felled. George burns away Infinite, leaving just Ben, the IGL, the old dog, with a deagle in hand, no armor, and a 1 versus 5 with next to no control to show for himself as well.
Yeah, so far no kills for the Party Astronauts, but the captain of the ship will try to get something done. First eagle shot does not connect. A stomach shot will kill George here. Ben, of course, does not know that, and so he will get mowed down as well. A trio of players face. It's Junior and George to pair up for that kill, and so the force buy from Party Astronauts yields absolutely nothing. And Nouns, so far, so good. Smooth sailing. But your notes do not deceive you, Nate. Mine say the same thing. Both teams very heavily slated towards the attack here. Although Nouns, a significantly better CT side at 47.5% versus 40.3% on the Party Astronauts. But that number will have to change for one of these two teams. If you're going to take this map, you need to have a little bit more than 40% win rate on the CT side. We'll see who's able to do that. Right now, Party Astronauts defense looking more like a sieve or a screen door on a submarine.
Falling flat might not even do it justice. They have 0 kills.
Yes.
Granted, it was pistol round in second.
Granted, they forced on second.
You expect something from the Deagle or the Scout, especially with that tag early on in the round. Maybe 60's Deagle could open up the docket for his team. Stack towards B, and the stack has been read at this stage. CT control taken. Bomb plant forthcoming. And the round not long for the server at this stage. Bomb goes down. George is hunting voraciously with this MAC-10. He wants money. He's not spotted anyone yet. There's one on site.
Ooh, a little premature.
Yeah. Will he actually survive now is the question with so many around him. CJ gets 1, George a second. Looks like he will. He's playing relatively safe. Rush here to support as well. Finds 1 in the final. So they do keep it clean for the first 3 Nouns. Out the gates sprinting. And my question now, Boggs, is did Nouns win knife round and choose to start on the T side?
That is a very interesting postulation and something I was wondering myself. So we're both sitting here with that same possibility in our minds. The same conjecture.
Bonus for Nouns, though. Still with those MAC-10s.
And still no kills for Party Astronauts. 3 rounds in.
Yeah. But there's rifles now, and there is an op as well for Wolfie. Good utility across the board as well for Party
No
Astronauts,
kit.
barring the kit. No kit. But Wolfie does open up the account for Party Astronauts at long last, as does Infinite, one apiece. Fang heard the hop from Rush in towards window. This MAC-10 is also been spotted to confirm it. Be a free kill for Fang. There it is. The left eye peek does not favor him. CJ on one of these AKs does find one. Okay, a nice second on the flick. Some damage done, but Ben Leet stems the bleeding. Leaving just Carson, the IGL, walking apartments. Ben Leet's already wise to this. Holding the angle. IGL versus IGL. Nice pre-fire from Carson, but no kill for his trouble. So Molly in an attempt to plant, or at least pull someone forward, but Ben is not biting. Plant will go down. It's a little bit of extra cash for this T side. Carson should have no business winning this 1 versus 3.
You say that, but Carson loves Mirage. It's one of his playgrounds. If you had to pick a map that Carson seems to be the most confident on, it is Mirage. And he does have a decent position at bench, but he needs to hit that first shot, and he does not. He gets spammed down, eventually shot by the op. And so Party Astronauts will claim a decently confident gun round. The only little question mark was that double-up catwalk from CJ. But that second kill was just more individual prowess than anything else, and that was a solid, stable gun round win for the Party Astronauts. Yes, it was bonus round for Nouns, but it started off well with the op kill, then the rifle pick as well, the read by Fang to take out Rush for free in window. No complaints from the CT side from Party Astronauts from me after that round. But can they recreate that success against the op and the AKs remains to be seen. If they win this round cleanly, if they win this round without much fuss, then we can start to talk about a solid defense from the Party Astronauts. But that does seem to be a bit more of a question mark, as Junior will try to peek around, try the boost first, then he'll walk up. Knows Infinite is at triple. Infinite will spot both players out, and they'll run out. Good catch by Junior as Infinite tries to strafe around, as Carson walks up uncontested through middle, backstab onto Fang, and now, question marks again about this CT side. Wolfie does get one for his trouble. He's not yet let the bomb go down. He still seems to be kicking for this kill, and for this site, that Molotov may just spell the end of the round. Wolfie just looking for some extra way back in, but nobody's peeking CT. Nobody needs to peek CT from Nouns, and eventually it will be called a save from the Party Astronauts, and that smoke confirms it, allowing those two to cross the rat hole, murder hole area and get to B site without dying.
Confident and quick play from Nouns, using the op to stifle anybody on the site proper, gets the rifle out in front of it. Carson using that distraction to push up Con, the smoke on a timing. Very well read and intimate knowledge of this map for Nouns. They isolate that victory for Party Astronauts, but 3 rifles surviving means that Party Astronauts are probably going to scrounge something together. Wolfie can drop a rifle, 6 can do the same. And from there, we should have a full investment from Party Astronauts or thereabouts. There it comes through. Goody Toady. Kits are here. Armor there as well. It's another solid full investment. But Nouns are the team going with a timeout early to discuss their game plan going up against this incredibly consequential rifle round.
I'm a little curious as to why they're calling the timeout here, honestly, Nate. Maybe they just don't feel that it's a consistent way to win rounds, playing that aggressively, which is true. But overall, there hasn't been much trouble for Nouns. They lost 1 gun round so far, and answered it right back by isolating the CT round. Maybe they're hearkening back to their less than ideal result last night, where they did have that same exact start, and then collapsed. But Ancient, a bit different than Mirage, and Ancient against a good Ancient team versus Mirage against a team you have never lost to on this map are 2 completely different situations as well. George going to charge down into middle this time as the rest of the squad out towards A. George has a free kill right now as Fang tries to peek into underpass. He singes, gives himself away. Infinite trades back 1, but Rush is right there for the return. Wolfie peeks over top, leveling it to a 3v3. George coming up through underpass, though, still lurking around bottom middle. 6y wary of this possibility, so is Wolfie. So much attention to one lone man as Junior keeps an eye on things from Palace, looking to establish his kingdom on A. As the bomb will be picked up by CJ. Sixy on the long flank may have just eluded George. This is not going to be red at all. Oh, no, it is red. CJ's watching his backside. And now it's to be careful not to fall asleep at the wheel. That's a big free kill for George. But they still have to be aware of the flank of Sixy. And it all comes down to this timing on the fight ramp. Does CJ watch it, or does he cross to sight? He's watching so many different angles. And Sixy, quiet as a mouse, coming from behind. 40 seconds to go. Beginning to make his play. The bomb at his feet! And in his command into the 2v2.
George, though, did not sit idly by. He's actually pushing all the way through market. And that kill, the Opera's duel won by Junior, cements a 1v2 situation for Sixy. 20 seconds left, though. Time is of the essence. The bomb needs to be picked up and put to dirt. Sixy, though, keen on taking a duel, is trying to find something, but not overextending. Bomb picked up by Junior. He'll cross into sight. This player's sandwich is not going to be expected. He crossed while Sixy was blind. This should be the round because of it. And George swings on a timing, finding Sixy and dashing his dreams of the 1 versus 2. Nouns continue their tear, and again, Party Astronauts, now their economy is truly broken. No one saved in this one. There's no extra coin in the coffer for them to lean back on. It's going to be some pistols and some Kevlar. That is probably all we're going to see. Actually, maybe an MP9 for Fang. That's not terrible. It still pales in comparison to an AK. Nouns in the driver's seat through and through.
Yeah, it's looking pretty darn good for the Nouns right now. Hush is having himself a good game so far. George is having himself a good game so far. CJ's having himself a good game so far. Carson as well. Junior, matter of fact, has had the least amount of impact in this one. And the thing is, he hasn't had to. That's honestly best case for Nouns, is that Junior doesn't have to have the biggest game.
Your op can sit back, hold its angle, not be the star. Everybody else picks up the slack. It's the opposite of what we saw yesterday. A far more confident Nouns. They're winning the rifle rounds with relative ease.
It just took Mirage.
Something a little bit more comfortable, maybe. MP9 for Ben Leap back of sight. There's a 5-7 here for Sixy. He managed to slink back under Van, but Nouns aren't committing. They want a kill, or at least a little bit more information as to what they're going up against. So they were hoping for a flank, perhaps, but now they'll disassemble their stack.
Keep an eye on the clock.
40 seconds. They're actually bringing it down lower than I expected. The bomb is still dropped in T-apps. Maybe a split-up catwalk is the name of the game instead.
Yep. Rush grabs the bomb. They split up Cat, open the site that way, and Party Astronauts have completely bought this fake. They're going back to A. Only Sixy here at Van. Do they expect him? They've spotted him out now. And the 5-7, albeit good in these kind of close situations, also not exactly the most reliable. George and Junior, the double entry. Wolfie trying to get something spotted out towards door. CJ watches for him at window. He'll win that fight. Junior tagged, but Fang and Infinite most likely going to save the armor, because that's worth way more into the next round than even one kill here. Nouns now. 6 rounds out of 7 on this T side of Mirage. And potentially another flawless too, which would be insane. That would be their 4th flawless of the night.
Yeah, the first 3 rounds are flawless. I kind of forgot about that. George catches Infinite hunting. Fang holding towards the market, hoping to have a gun land in his lap. Will come up empty-handed. Well, not literally. He does have the MP9 at least. Drop that. Probably not going to be used in this next round.
Unless they want to do an underpass crunch, but not worth it.
No, they have the money to go for full utility and rifles, including that op. They shouldn't be using it. Ben Lead has enough for a kit. Are we going to see it come through?
I was about to say, buy a kit, Ben. Buy a kit.
Even a timeout right now would be a good idea. It looked like they might have been contemplating it. He'll go for the kit, though, as you mentioned. Junior, I'm assuming this is a graphical issue.
Or
he forgot to buy.
Well, he didn't die.
Here's the op.
Where did he drop
on the ground
it?
Somewhere.
Yeah. Because he didn't die.
Did a teammate have it? To go
I didn't see anybody have it.
But I don't know. I'm not going to question it. It's in his hands now, and that's what's important. This T-set economy also becoming stifling at this point. Party Astronauts are going to have to win a lot of rounds consecutively to break it. continues to stack things against them in this first half and this first map. A lot of utility already expended by Party Astronauts as well, not even past the minute mark, and there's only 3 smokes remaining. That's actually better than I expected. There's a lot more utility bought out now as the Molotov goes ramp. They did go for a bit of an underpass crunch with this op dropping down, but unfortunately for them, it is more or less empty. Carson will slowly get control late. It's going to be an A end more than likely at this stage. Infinite swinging out off contact, 61 for 1. Junior gets a trade to the player in Palace as well, spams away Infinite, hearing the steps. Advantage secured for Nouns, and Carson on a timing again in middle. Somehow he finds these timings time and time again. He played it to Con a couple rounds prior, and Rush out in B has taken control of the B bomb site. Carson drops Fang. The last alive is Wolfie, that player I talked about pushing underpass with the op. And it looks like he's being held for as well by Carson.
It's a great read.
Down on A. It made the trip around the world. Just a couple seconds to spare. Great read, great play, and Nouns tremendous execution in these rounds.
And there's the punish on the op, too. No saving for Wolfie. And the timing for Carson out middle. Rush drops into a wide open B site, says, hey boys, I got B. Why don't we come over here instead of fighting A? He gets the kill, they rotate over, and then they get A site secured. And I think Carson had an idea that Wolfie was underpass. I think he might have spotted him at some point. Because then they make the call to go all the way back to A again. And just let Carson lurk in apartments, waiting for the flank. Just, what a read by Nouns. What an individual performance by the whole entire team. And where was this Nouns roster last night is my final question.
It's a risky way to play, though, because they're taking so much map control, and it's great. It feels hard to play against for Party Astronauts when they're not hitting the shots. But keep in mind, Rush and Carson in that last round are completely alone. If they're caught on a timing, if they're peaked and they just simply lose a duel, if they whiff, they're pretty quickly figured out to be a lurking player, and then Party Astronauts have a far better read of the situation. So while it works when the shots are hitting, when there's finally a rebuttal from Party Astronauts, it might come undone.
Well, the Party Astronauts have yet to make any sort of rebuttal. Just that one lone gun round converted. 2 from Ben on the 5-7, though. He taps twice, and he grabs a Kalashnikov for his trouble. Junior spots his arm, though, and answers that one back. Junior will toss the AK away, most likely going to try to shuffle the rifles away from any potential Party Astronauts, as George will level this one out, taking out 60. Wolfie burns down to half his health as Junior continues to move forward, rifle in hand. P250 taps Wolfie, running out of health and eventually removed. Infinite one quick deagle shot, cannot follow it up as Junior on the rifle once more. Scales in for another kill and plants the bomb himself. Fang misses the KZ jump up to Cat and will run his way up the long way around. Junior and George, one spotted, but Fang now revealed. Double swung and removed by the quad of Junior, who won't even bother going to get the op in apartments, Nate, because he has 1,600 anyways, so he's perfectly fine on cash. And Nouns up 8-1. Finally a timeout comes through from the Party Astronauts. But at this point, they need 4 rounds out of this half. And those 4 rounds seem almost entirely impossible.
They seem impossible given the form we've seen, and they seem impossible because Nouns have more than enough money to buy no matter what transpires in these next 4 rounds. Or next 3 rounds, I should say. They already have 1.
And if they get bomb plants, it becomes even more substantial economy-wise.
Uphill might not do the situation justice for Party Astronauts. Feels like their backs are against the
Vertical
wall and
cliff
they're
face?
already running out of room. Yeah. A sheer edge upon which they might just fall upon. Junior, as you mentioned, can buy his op because he had the money limit, 16K. George is sitting atop the board, though, at 10. It's a 10-9-8-6-5 kill spread for the Nouns side. Meanwhile, the most amount of kills on anybody for Party Astronauts is Wolfie at 5. Dismal situation, and Carson only furthers it, finding 1, nearly dropping Fang as well. It'll be CJ to pick up the slack there. Dixie on Catwalk fares no better. It's Junior to find the kill in the chaos with the op through the wall. Ben Leet in window is smoked off. Where is Wolfie? He's in apartments, very far removed from the situation at hand. 9th for Nouns seems like an almost guarantee at this point.
Especially now that Ben got spotted from window. He still wins that fight more impressively than anything else. But the nade will soften him up for CJ to spray him down. Wolfie up on catwalk, 1 versus 3. Bomb going down. Wolfie, will he take a shot? Nope. He'll unscope and scope again. And back away. Try to save the op, which he may be allowed to. I don't think Nouns are going to hunt too much. They don't want to allow a defuse to come through, more importantly than anything else. But 9 rounds on the T side, absolutely fantastic for Nouns. They are looking perfect right now in Mirage. And that's why when I saw Mirage come through in the veto, Nate, when we were discussing things in the green room, it was like, oh, well, I think Nouns are winning the map here.
Yeah, I agreed with you that it definitely favored Nouns. I didn't think it favored them this much, though. Wolfie is being hunted. You mentioned he might not be, but now that they've allowed the time to dwindle sufficiently, they're going to hunt him to their best ability. Rushing forward, true to his name. Gets the kill as Wolfie's a little bit too eager on the flick. No save allowed, no safe quarter, safe passage to the next round for Wolfie. 9-1. 10 seems like it's going to come through as well. I mean, 11 at this point seems not unrealistic given Nouns' truly flawless form. Party Astronauts are going to go kicking and screaming, though. Buying up what they can. 4 M4s, an MP9, no kit, but a decent bit of utility. Question is, what can they do with this? They've had better, and they've still found next to nothing.
Well, they're going to try something a little more aggressive out middle, which is a good change of pace, but Party Astronauts are expected here. Flash goes in, doesn't yield anything. If anything, they'll have to fall away. Flash will go to counter this push, and now CJ will charge up forward. Wolfie does spray down George, but CJ does a little bit more damage. Carson eats a lot himself. Nade will soften him up and finish the job. 6-y comes through as well, so the mid-scrim works for 3. Finally, one traded back by Junior. Rush is still alive as well, unscathed, moving his way up through connector. Infinites and Palace, the bomb, may join up with Rush as well, but he loses that first duel to Wolfie. And so Junior will grab an AK, and I guess try to 1v4 ace this out. He's got a 4K already. All he needs is a 1v4.
I'd say go for it.
Yeah.
Money's no object.
There's no reason to not go for it.
And Wolfie. Yeah, no reason not to, I think is the best way to put it.
Now,
maybe he's guarding his op so that nobody grabs that, but
he'll go for something, maybe. There's no reason to save either. Tangential question, though, Nate. If there is a baseball or a Counter-Strike equivalent to the baseball cycle, would it be all of the kill, like 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, and ace in the same game? Or what do you think?
Probably. Junior, one and done. Goes for it, doesn't quite find it, but in the same vein, Party Astronauts will not find the op. They don't have the funds to buy one either, so they will be scopeless in the final round of the first half. Junior has the op once again. There is no question there. The money over there on that side of the equation is bountiful. Party Astronauts. Rifles, including AKs, along with kits and utility at least, but that was a gimmicky round. A press down middle that Nouns were ready for, but just couldn't quite counter. How do Party Astronauts notch another onto the board?
Well, Wolfie tries to peek out, and he is met by a spray of bullets and the op shot of Junior to find him through smoke, wall, and his helmet. Ben will try to hold down on Cat, but he might not get challenged. 6-y coming up from behind as well. A fast flank through apartments will try to hold the line, but he's expected as well. George is watching for that flank. It all comes down to timing up towards C. George is going to get the timing. Never mind. 6-y will actually catch George watching up top. So 6-y's long rotate around the stairs. The silent move will pay dividends and bring this to a 4 versus 4 with somebody in the back lines. Infinite will actually join up with 6-y too, clearing out through Palace, making sure ramp is clear. All 4 Nouns players are remaining alive out towards middle. Not a good situation to be in, realistically, because you're stuck in the open and there's so much space you can get caught from. Nouns are just burning down clock and about to lose the bomb. That's the problem with mid.
They've lost the plot. They slowed down too much, and they're punished for it. Sig now coming alive individually. 3 kills and 2 left. He's on for the ace. CJ isolated in ladder. Rush trying to support by flashing up Catwalk looking for in-row. Might just be unseated. 1 and 2. The final pair go down. Party Astronauts stem the bleeding. We'll see you to the break.
We're back into Mirage as Nouns had a great start. 3 flawless rounds in a row. And then Party Astronauts 2 at the end to make it a viable 9-3 scoreline. If you can call it viable, it's Bugs and Pineapple Phillips. And we'll see if Party Astronauts have what it takes to bring this one back, or if Rush and company can shut this down before it ever gets going for the Party Astronauts, before they ever even leave the launch pad. Because right now, we're not even getting down to the final countdown for the Party Astronauts. Their rocket barely starting its fueling sequence. Out come the Party Astronauts. Junior up on scaffolding, able to get one, but Fang and Ben are notching heads. And Ben will grab a second here. CJ and Carson on the long rotation in, trying to stop the Party Astronauts bomb plant, but that has been successful. The dualies finding nothing, and CJ instantly traded. A critical pistol round for the Party Astronauts gets them a 4th. And it gives them some buffer to try and drag this closer and tie things up with the Nouns.
Gives them some room, but not breathing room. They need to fight for that tooth and nail. They're still down by leagues. 5 rounds separating these two teams. Don't let off the gas now, Party Astronauts. They have 2 AKs, 3 MAC-10s to go up against the save of Nouns. There's a couple pistols invested, a P250 and a Deagle for CJ and Junior, respectively. And Infinite will start things off right, catching the aggressing CJ the King in towards Halls. Slow round for Party Astronauts. Looks like an ace split is on the cards, though, with 2 over towards middle, and 3 towards A, 1 Halls, 2 ramp. Wolfie at ramp, finding 1 and 2. 60 spear point in con, finds a third. Just Carson on the balcony, hoping to find a timing on 1, but the flying Infinite will be his demise instead. Second round taken, and expectedly so, by the Party Astronauts, but Nouns are quickly going to get rifles on the board, and this is the first real test of the Party Astronauts offensive.
The real test begins now, but the triple MAC-10s do make things a little bit more difficult for Party Astronauts to claim this round. Something fast seems to be on the cards. But now they're starting to get their second stage boosters filled up. Haven't quite begun ignition yet. Things are starting to look better for the Party Astronauts. Utility flying through. Lots of mid-control. But we saw what happened to Nouns when they took too long in middle. Party Astronauts hopefully learning from that. Seem to be learning from that and not overstaying the mid-welcome. They won't get stuck in the quicksand, and instead we'll play a little more passive, expecting some aggression from Nouns, which kind of logical considering the lack of a utility overall from the CT side. 3 smokes, a flash, and an nade left. No kit either. Carson or George would have had to forego the helmet for that diffuser. Nouns are content to just wait. They have decent positioning defensively. They have confidence in their individuals. And Party Astronauts burning down the clock might just give Nouns the opportunity they need to win a hold on a rifle round without any sort of information.
So they could. Party Astronauts slowly getting control off of the contact. 40 seconds left, though. Time is getting quite low. A-split appears to be the name of the game once more. 3 mid, 2 A. George up catwalk, looking for a timing. There's so much damage to Ben. Leet spots one going up con as well. George takes Fang. CJ under Balk next at bat. Can't get the spray down onto CJ. The lack of a helmet does him in. Infinite finds that. Junior, a double in response. Bring it to even footing. 2 versus 2. Carson spam onto the bomb planter. Might just seal the round, though. 60 on low HP. Caught on the cross by Rush on catwalk. And Nouns take the first rifle round. It wasn't the cleanest, with only 2 surviving. But they don't need to win too many more rounds now to close this one out. Only 3 separating them from victory.
Not the cleanest rifle round, or anti-bonus for that matter, but Nouns still get the round on the board. And now it's a critical swing where the winner of this will reset the opposition. MP9 for CJ, charging up middle, has utility to flash him forward, burn the lie, but he still gets 1, and maybe he'll get 2! George is there to help him out, and the double swing top mid pays massive dividends for Nouns. The bomb is left in T-spawn for the Party Astronauts, but it might not matter. A hose perhaps has been cut on the fueling sequence. A match thrown in. 60 will bring something back, but he takes some damage. And Ben needs to win this fight, which he does. Flash a bit too late. Second flash goes high. Ben will throw a little bit of utility himself. CJ tosses out a Molotov. And Ben will get burned forward, still winning the fight. Traded eventually by Junior. Another tight one. 60 out bottom middle. Huge duel to the man advantage for Party Astronauts. Rush now, stuck in underpass. Not expected, but he will surrender a bomb plant to Infinite regardless as Infinite Rush heard it. He can go back the long way around. 60's going up cat. Rush has all the information sound-wise as to where his enemies are. And Infinite has not dive-bombed site yet either, finally making his way down, giving Rush all the time to walk up apartments. This round is far from over. Rush has all the timing he needs, especially if Infinite's not ready for it, but he is! Spots the head, but he cannot connect it. Help from 60, Infinite with the finish! And Party Astronauts back in the win column. Fueling re-engaged.
Right the ship at a critical juncture. They lose that round. The economy's pretty much broken, and Nouns have 11. The dire straits from there. But they survive, and so Nouns are the ones who are broken instead. Junior on a deagle. Nothing much else is going to be invested. A 5.7 for George, a P250 for CJ. Party Astronauts. They're not building a T-side economy, but they're surviving. A Galil for Ben Leet instead of an AK in this round. It's only against pistols, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find success for the party astronauts.
Oh, there's an opener onto George as the pistol finds minimal damage. The rifle is continuing to scale around. CJ around the smoke. Easy kill for Ben. And almost a second too onto Carson. Junior eventually falls. And we will see a 7th on the board for the party astronauts here. Still a little bit more required for them to push this one over the line. But Junior getting the op out on the CT side will be a nice boost to Nouns. He should have that into the next round. Flawless for party astronauts. It's against pistols and minimal upgrades at that. Expected round for them to win. And here comes another real test. A timeout used by Nouns as well. And I like this call, Nate, because it gives them some time to settle. It gives them some time to figure out what's going on, figure out what holes have been exploited, and how to get things over the line. They just need 3. Party astronauts need double that. And also, something to note, Junior has taken over.
Junior has. He's returned to the top, 17-8. That was going to be my big question is, off this timeout, where do they send the op? Does he go for an aggressive peek, maybe in towards Palace? He has the spawn for that. Does he want to go for a ramp peek? Does he want to go towards Con or window?
I'm going to say he goes Con.
Would make sense. Nouns found the most early success on this CT side with the double push top middle. Maybe they're going to go for an aggressive posturing again. Maybe that will be too expected. 3 towards A. 1 in middle. That is George this time in the window. And Junior is on B at Van with the op in hand.
Solo B hold with the op is a bold move. And it almost has to work. 60 takes some damage. And Rush gets a free 1, but he cannot get the second. As Ben trades out Infinite, his entry. And no one's in Palace. 60 again, very low on health. Junior aggresses! And down falls Danny. Mana advantage restored for Nouns, but they have to keep this one clean. Something they have struggled to do is win these CT rounds cleanly, and it came back to bite them after they won their first. Time on the clock available for party astronauts, but they have to make a move eventually. No reason to rush things, but sooner or later they will have to. Fang, just stationary bottom chair. A push coming through. Carson clears 1, clears 2, and Fang will double this up, but will he expect George and Con as well? He does not! George drops forward, but it's a 2 versus 2, and again, things are very messy for the Nouns. They try to shut this down. Ben wins that fight, and Junior's probably going to save. Party astronauts have won another gun round. The op gets 1, and that's it. And party astronauts are back in business officially now.
Op only getting 1 because it's over towards B. Doesn't move around once it finds that opening onto 6C. Of course, it was a delayed and laborious fight, which really keeps Junior distracted while the bulk of party astronauts go for that A-site take. Most important pair of kills, though, definitely come from Fang. He brings things back to even footing. It was a 3 versus 4. His double before he falls brings it to a 2-on-2. And Ben Leet gets them across the line with the Galil, finding that kill onto George. Junior, given the solace of survival, that's something. Will they buy around the op, or will they save in round number 19, though? That's the bigger question. Party astronauts building some confidence, building up a T-side bank, and now nearly within striking distance, 2 away from tying this up.
Infinite has an AK. No op for Wolfie on the T side. Junior still has his. But it's interesting to see a team not utilizing the op on the T side of Mirage. It does give you some more freedom to work with. And I think that's exactly what party astronauts want right now. Rifling ability. Freedom. 60, waiting for the pushes. 1, half flashed in the first, but he carries that spray nicely onto CJ2. Junior into the open, spots 1. That's a good trade on to Danny. But still a lot more work to do here for the Nouns as Party Astronauts scale out onto the site. There's a lurk up top middle as well, and Wolfie, who gets run down by George. Rush was right there for the trade, even though it would have been 1-for-1 at best. But this is a doable retake now. Are they going to... They are going to go for it. I was wondering if they were going to think better of it. Rush going to jump into window. Junior going CT. George may join Rush up towards window as well, but this angle does not really favor Junior. His shadow shows he still wins the fight, though. That's a huge duel. But Infinite around to the open. Takes down George on stairs, and that's going to signal a save with no kit for Junior or Rush. Party Astronauts have clawed their way back to within 1.
Clawed their way back. It was a half buy. Rush can save his Kevlar, as can Junior. Both get primary weapons out of this. Infinite's going to hunt at least a little bit, and Rush whiffs the Sprite, recovers just in time. He survive. Party Astronauts one away from tying it up, but Nouns another solid buy in hand. They are also compelled to use their final timeout. Interesting, I don't think we've seen a single one come out of the Party Astronauts. It's all been
we saw one
Nouns.
At 8-1.
Very late in that first half.
Yeah, but hey, 8-1, and it's now 10-9. I'd say it worked.
Something worked. Maybe the swap of sides really helped them. That pistol, again, also a must-win.
They did get 2 of those last 3, though.
It's true. Tactical timeout concludes. Opt for Junior. Opt for Wolfie does come out on the T side. We're wondering if we were going to see it. Riflery and good utility across the board as well. The fullest of full buys for all parties involved. Question is, who has the better strategy going into this round? Will it be Nouns off the back of the timeout, or will it be Party Astronauts with the momentum in their back pocket? A lean towards A yet again, but the bomb is in T-spawn. A slow walk from 6C, who was awoken in a big way in this map. He had like 4 kills prior to his heroics in the final round of the first half.
Infinite has gained a little bit of space out towards Tetris. No counter yet from Nouns. Party Astronauts playing a bit of a mid-default with 2 players towards ramp as well. 6E coming up through underpass. Fang working out through middle. The crunch will happen on A. There's no information for Nouns as to what exactly is going on. Carson will take down Infinite, though, who had utility. No trade from Ben either. That is a missed opportunity for Party Astronauts, and Ben eats so much damage, too. Now the play is revealed, but Fang can cut this off at the source as he strikes onto Rush through jungle. The last 2 defenders of the site are CT. A flash will go high. Wolfie knows exactly what's up. No smoke used for CT. There is no smoke available to Party Astronauts. A flash is what they have to work with, and 6E gets blinded by it. Will not swing into it. Now he goes late. The Molotov blooms in his face, and he cannot get the kill. Time running out for the Party Astronauts. So much open space available. The bomb planted towards front triple. Wolfie engages with Junior. Neither player winning their duel. Wolfie has the angle. Will anyone cross his direction? All 3 coming through CT now. The flash, perfect. Wolfie exposed. Removed by CJ. Up to Fang and Ben. Ben will peek so they know where he is. Fang now revealed as well towards bottom con. It is planted for him. But he takes a shot from George. And CJ will finish off Ben. Nouns keep 1 step ahead of the Party Astronauts. They've not gone down just yet. The op recovered for Junior as well. Party Astronauts close, but oh so far.
Close, but very far. The one solace Party Astronauts have now is the fact that they built up that T-side economy a fair bit, so they'll have another investment going into this one. It was not nearly as bountiful as it was for Nouns in the first half, and so they're already to the bottom of the coffer for the most part. Nouns also not the best economically. If Party Astronauts can isolate that run victory, they'll break the CT economy as well. Lots riding on this round. George swinging catwalk, though. Confident with his teammate in tow. Finds the opening onto Fang. It's going to be a play towards B. Carson back of bench. A player on site to deal with, but he's not going to force the issue. He's going to bide his time instead. Rush taking contact, finding one. He's traded out, but Carson's not expected here. One, and eventually a second, not quite secured. 6C, a good trade, now finding 2 in the round. This is an even footing. Oppers and Riflers. CJ versus 6C. Wolfie versus Junior. Junior posted with the op, looking for Wolfie. A missed opportunity. Wolfie might just punish that, given enough time.
There's no way they expect him here.
Yeah, totally unexpected. Still full blinded, though. He'll fall away. Can't afford to give his life away foolhardily. Good win from CJ. Wolfie now a 1v2, tucked in towards Van. He spots the barrels of both, but they don't cross in his direction. Using the smoke to his advantage, he'll try to find something in the chaos. But time is down to the wire. Tap comes in, and Wolfie, a missed shot, means that the kill will come through, and the defuse will as well. 12-9 for Nouns. They finally get map point, but it took a long time to get here.
And if we look back historically, both teams leaky on the defense. Another timeout being used by the Party Astronauts now with their backs officially up against the wall. But one team out of these two has beaten the other every single time they've met on this map. And that is Nouns. They have not lost to Party Astronauts on Mirage historically. That is a huge psychological advantage. And Nouns are using that to carry themselves across the line here. That last round, close again, but they're eking it out when it matters. Panic is coming through Party Astronauts a little bit as well. And this last buy, 2 Tech 9s, a Mac 10, and 2 AKs. Utility, absolutely nothing on Fang, who is bearing the curse of being the player to watch, unfortunately for Party Astronauts. But in all seriousness, there just wasn't enough early enough from Party Astronauts. They were down 8-1. They got a 9-3 half. 8-4, much different. 7-5, so much more different. And a Molotov kill comes through from George as the Party Astronauts try to stream into B. Rush is still around here. There's 3 players to defend. That smoke blow up will yield a kill for 6E. George's nade tossed over. Will it yield anything? No, just damages. He falls as well. CJ another one. Rush is mowed down through the smoke. And Party Astronauts have not given in just yet. They have not acquiesced. They're still fighting for double digits and for overtime. Chunky nade again coming in from Nouns. And the Molotov does well to burn Wolfie down to half HP. But the CT side calls it quits. The money not great. And we will see another round of Counter-Strike here in Mirage.
Another round of Counter-Strike. Party Astronauts scrappy on the escape in towards B. Make it work. I believe they had a flank up Catwalk as well. Fang good for off that angle. Weapons will be picked up and upgraded for Party Astronauts. The op for Junior, though, will survive, and that is an ever-present threat they have to worry about. I think off the back of these 2 saved weapons, Nouns will be able to eke out an investment. Junior can drop, CJ can drop. So it should be a solid investment by most metrics. Question is, can they finally get it across the line, or will Party Astronauts send them the distance?
AKs across the board. They made it work with less. Little bit of underpass scrim coming through, and Junior's op yields the opener. It's a good start for Nouns, and George adds on more. Party Astronauts collapsing at the final hurdle, perhaps. Carson over top of the smoke spots Wolfie. It's up to Fang, or to Infinite and 6E rather, as he gets caught through the smoke as well. Carson seeing everything without seeing anything. Infinite a double, but he's so low on health. Tries for more, but he runs out of HP. Nouns will cross the finish line and take Mirage 13-10. But that one much closer and much dirtier than it should have been, given that 9-3 T-side half.
I was just going to mention that. It was an 8-1, as you talked about, turning into a 9-3. And then with the pistol round,